What's going on, folks? Welcome back to D-Life HD. This is Victor, and today we're going to be discussing the September Direct from Nintendo. This one was mind-blowing. There was so much in here that I loved, and I'm really excited to bring my personal highlights and just overall what we saw from this Direct to you. So without any further delay, let's jump right into it. Alright, so starting off, I actually want to address some games that didn't necessarily appeal to me. You know, there was a lot here, there's a little bit for everybody, but overall there were a couple things sprinkled in that I don't really care about that much, and I don't want people to feel left out for me not discussing them. There was a Chocobo-themed racing game. That's right. The chicken-type things from Final Fantasy are now getting their own racing game with other Square characters. Now, it really, really looks like Mario Kart. I can't really stress how hard this game looks like Mario Kart. So I guess this is what we're getting for Mario Kart 9? I'm not sure, but I don't know. It doesn't really appeal to me. I already have Mario Kart if I want to play a racing game, and even at that, I'm not a huge racing game fan. So that's sort of where we're at as far as this Chocobo-themed racing game. Also from Square, they talked about the Project Triangle strategy game. Looks like they've changed that working title to just Triangle Strategy. Oh no, they've changed it so much. This game does look really good and the art style is super appealing, but I don't know if I have time for another RPG, especially one that's a tactics game. I would have much preferred to, I guess, seen more from the next Fire Emblem game. But I think this game does look really awesome, and it's clear that they're putting a lot of attention to detail in here. And speaking of that sort of 2.5D, like, shiny pixel art style, I would have much preferred to see more from Dragon Quest III, that remake that they announced at the Dragon Quest sort of celebration for the anniversary, but we did not see anything from that. In addition, there are also a collection of Super Nintendo Castlevania games, I believe, that are being compiled and released. I think they've put out a Castlevania collection in the past, but this is sort of some of the newer games, I guess. I don't know, I'm not a big Castlevania fan, but I know some people really love these games. They seem like bare bones sort of ports, like a collection in line with the 3D All-Stars collection from last year. Not a whole lot extra there, but I guess if you're excited for that, that's something to get hyped for. So, the big, giant thing that they announced pushing the beginning of this Direct is what they are referring to as a massive expansion to Monster Hunter Rise, which, as you know, I loved and I had a great time reviewing. And it looks like this thing is going to be huge, and so much so that they said it's coming out in summer of 2022, which I would imagine it's going to be on the later end. Honestly, I think we're not going to see it for like another year. I think they're going to be showing some more at Tokyo Game Show, which is going to be happening very soon. It's next week. But what they showed here was just a teaser to give us a feel for what this game is going to be like as far as the expansion goes. Now, this takes a completely different tone than the sort of happy-go-lucky feel of Komura Village from Rise. Instead, it leans into something more in line from Castlevania. It's got darker tones. It reminds me a lot of Dragon's Dogma, another Capcom game, where it's, I guess, very European in its feel. I think that this new dragon that they've shown off here is going to be sort of a vampire almost. So they went for yokai feel with a lot of the monsters in the base game, and I think they're going to start basing a lot of the other new monsters off of maybe more westernized, I guess, monsters that we have in our folklore, which I think is really cool. Like, vampires are not something that really appear as much in Eastern culture, but now we're getting a monster that's sort of based off of a vampire. It's set in this giant castle, like, dark feel. It's called Sunbreak, by the way. I don't know. I'm overwhelmed by all the information that is just in this literal 1-minute trailer. But it was such an awesome way to kick off the Direct. We also got confirmation that the next fighter for Super Smash Bros., this being the last one, will be announced shortly. I guess it was too much for them to include in the actual Direct itself, but they said at a later date, Sakurai is going to do the final Sakurai Presents and announce the character and show it off, and that's going to be on October 5th. So get your hypes ready for that. That's going to be epic. It's kind of sad to see that this is the last one. It feels like the end of an era. Super Smash Bros. Came out about 3 years ago. It's just sort of crazy how time flies like that. Now, this is sort of huge, what I'm about to tell you next, because there has never been a 3D game in this franchise. That's right. Kirby is coming back with a bang. After Star Allies, people were a little bit nervous as to where Kirby was going to go, but now we're getting a fully 3D Kirby game. There was one that sort of felt 3D but really was 2D on the 64, but this one is a actual fully realized 3D Kirby game, and it's set in this forgotten land that has sort of like a post-apocalyptic feel where you have like these shopping malls and these parking lots, and they're all overgrown and empty and overridden by all these different Kirby monsters that we know. I don't know, it's really exciting and it has really good feels, and I think that this is going to be huge. I think it's going to be on the level with like a Mario Odyssey per se. Now, this next one is something that everybody has been wanting, including myself, and that is what they're calling the Expansion Pass to Nintendo Switch Online. So it's a different tier, you're paying a little bit more. They haven't announced the exact price point here, but you will be getting Nintendo 64 games as an app, just like we have for NES and SNES. I think that this is absolutely amazing. It is sort of interesting that we'll be able to play Super Mario 64 on this app and on the collection that they released that was limited time only. But we're going to be able to play Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. One I'm really excited for is we'll be able to play the original Paper Mario. I think they even showed off Yoshi's Story. It's just a lot of beloved games from this era. Even Mario Kart 64, which I know is a lot of people's favorite Mario Kart game. That is super epic to see on here, and I cannot wait to get this. Now, they've also announced you can be ordering one of those online controllers that are wireless and fit the form factor for those OG old Nintendo console controllers. They did one for the Super Nintendo app that came out, they did one for the original NES that came out, and now they're doing one for the 64, and I think I'm going to have to get my hands on it because it looks awesome. Now, in addition, with this new paid tier, you will also be getting I think it's Sega Master Drive. I don't know the Sega consoles, so do not quote me on that. But it's a whole bunch of extra old Sega games that I've never played. They're also releasing a Sega controller as well. I think I'm going to have to go back and give some of these games I missed a shot because I've never been a Sega guy. But you know, if they have them on the Switch Online, I mean, it's worth a shot, right? We also got to see some more Metroid. Not a lot to say there other than they're just showing everything that's in this game. I am kind of excited for this one. I've never been a huge Metroid fan, but I'm going to be trying to get invested in the franchise with this new release, and I'm sort of just steering clear of all the information that they're putting out, which seems to be the whole game, basically. There's also a look at the new Splatoon game. They actually went into detail with some new information. They didn't give us a date, but they told us that there is going to be, a plethora of new areas, and for the story mode, they're going to be bringing mammal-type characters in. I don't know if they're going to be the enemies or your friends. I would assume the enemies, but they also showed off new locales for that story. And I think that it looks really good. Like, it has this snow setting. We're seeing more environments, and I think that's really cool and will add to the depth and replayability of this campaign. Finally, they did this fake out where the last announcement was a bunch of military guys running around shooting monsters in a city. And I was like, well, there's been these rumors of Xenoblade 3, and they hadn't announced it yet at the Direct, so could this be it? But I was like, no, this doesn't look like Monolith's art style, and it's sort of set in this city setting, but it could be Xenoblade X too. I don't know. And I was like, wait, this seems like Astral Chain. So is this going to be Astral Chain 2? And then the little dog mascot from Astral Chain runs out, and I'm like, wow, Astral Chain 2. That's actually really awesome. I'm glad that they did that. And then they totally got me, because Bayonetta comes through one of her magical portals or whatever, and it was the first trailer for Bayonetta 3. It was a complete fake out with this character from Astral Chain, and I guess that means that Astral Chain and Bayonetta are canon together. I don't know, leave it down in the comments what you think about that, but they showed off quite a bit here of gameplay, and it is looking really good. I can see that they've optimized the Nintendo Switch's power capabilities to really pull off a sharp-looking, more mature art style, and I think that is amazing. Now, I've never played a Bayonetta game before, and I don't know if I'm going to play this one, but I can definitely appreciate what this game is doing, and how it's taking full capability of the Nintendo Switch, and I think that's awesome. And that's about everything that we saw at the Direct. There was a couple things that I left out that I just didn't feel like were worth mentioning, but overall it was really solid, and I loved the showing. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this video. We love talking to you guys. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like these. Lastly, check out our Twitter account for gameplay of the latest releases. But most importantly of all, remember to always stay 1UP.